Ever get that feeling? Like, you had a chance to do something, to make a move, but you kind of hesitated, maybe thought about it too much. And poof, it's gone.
Yeah, it's like it just vanishes. Someone else swoops in. Someone else saw that open door and just went for it.
It's so frustrating, right? You're just left there thinking, man, I should have just gone for it.
Totally. Well, I think that's what we're really going to be diving into today.
Yeah. This deep dive is all about making sure those moments become wins. Like legit wins, not just regrets. We don't want any more of those.
Exactly. So we're going to break down this strategy. It's called Overwhelm Resistance with Speed and Suddenness. It's a key concept straight from the 33 Strategies of War.
Oh, yeah. The 33 Strategies of War.
Yeah.
Dense stuff. I remember when I first cracked that open, I was like, whoa, okay, this is intense.
Yeah, it's not light reading.
Yeah.
A lot of people call it the Blitzkrieg strategy. But honestly, when you hear that, you might think tanks and, battlefields and all that.
World War II.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. But I think we're going to find that the underlying principles, well, they're surprisingly useful for so much more. Like way more than just military history.
Oh, absolutely. This is not just for the history buffs out there. No way. This is about understanding this fundamental power dynamic, like how taking action swiftly and decisively can give you this massive edge in business, leadership, even in your personal life, right? Grabbing those opportunities.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been there. You see an opportunity.
Yeah.
But then you wait, and then it's gone.
Gone. So we're going to get to the core of this idea, how it works in the real world. Give you a solid understanding of how to use it.
And we'll make sure it doesn't feel overwhelming. We'll break it down. Easy peasy.
Yeah, we'll keep it clear and simple, and we'll have some fun along the way. Sound good?
Absolutely. So to really grasp this, we're going to look at some historical examples. Like the Nazis, their crazy fast advances during World War II. Julius Caesar's lightning-fast conquests. I mean, they were surprisingly quick.
Yeah. I mean, those guys were on the move, conquering left and right. But we're also going to bring it into the present, right?
Definitely. We'll check out some modern-day stuff, too.
Yeah.
Look at people like Elon Musk, his crazy disruptive strategies, and we'll look at the wild, rapid transformations happening all over the tech industry. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, the tech world's always changing at warp speed. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The heart of this whole thing, the power of speed and suddenness. What makes this approach so effective in the first place?
Well, what's really interesting is how it taps into our human nature. Like when we're faced with something new, most of us, we pause, we got to analyze, weigh all the options.
Right, overthink it a little bit, man.
Exactly. We might wait for more info, try to find that perfect moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here's the thing, that hesitation, that's where the advantage can slip away. That's what the source material highlights. This strategy uses that uncertainty.
So it's about being the first mover, right? Taking action before the other side even has a chance to figure out what's happening.
Exactly. And it's not just about physical speed. There's this huge psychological element at play.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like catching someone off guard. They're totally unprepared.
Precisely. That speed, that unexpectedness, it throws people off balance. It creates this wave of confusion, even psychological shock. Imagine someone hitting you with something you didn't see coming, and it's happening so fast, can you even respond?
You're just scrambling, right?
Right. It's like your brain's trying to catch up. Your ability to think clearly, to organize any kind of defense, it all goes out the window.
You freeze up, and that's when they strike.
Exactly. It's like this jolt to the system that weakens resolve from the inside out.
And we see this perfectly illustrated with the Nazis in World War II. Specifically, the Blitzkrieg, right? Around 1939, 1940.
This is a classic example. So instead of that slow trench warfare, the kind we saw in World War I, the German forces, they were all about mobility. Tanks, air power, fast-moving infantry. Their strategy was to punch through enemy lines super fast and then exploit those breakthroughs just as quickly.
They didn't let up. They just kept pushing forward.
Exactly. It wasn't just about having fast tanks. It was this coordinated approach using speed, air power, and surprise to gain total control before the enemy could even react.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do? They're still trying to figure out what just hit them.
And their attacks, both on Poland and then France, were just shockingly fast. I mean, France at the time was considered a major military power. They had a huge army, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well-equipped, too.
Yeah.
But their whole strategy, it was still stuck in the past. Like a slower, more defensive kind of warfare. They just weren't ready for the speed, the maneuverability, the totally unexpected directions of the German attacks.
Yeah, they were caught completely off guard.
It's fascinating, though. It shows how quickly a powerful military can be completely destabilized
Yeah.
just by this fast, coordinated offensive.
And the result was just unbelievable. France, this huge power, fell in just 6 weeks. That's crazy. I mean, it really highlights the power of this strategy. It's not just about gaining ground. It can completely shatter the opposition's ability to resist.
Totally. And the 33 strategies of war, it lays out some key advantages of striking fast. First, it creates chaos, like utter confusion for the enemy. They're scrambling, just trying to understand what's hitting them, let alone organize a defense.
Right, they can't even think straight. And the second advantage...
Seizing momentum, you get that initial breakthrough, you got to keep pushing. Don't give the enemy a chance to breathe, to regroup, to build a new defense, like an avalanche.
It's like you're a snowball rolling downhill. You just keep getting bigger and faster and more unstoppable.
Perfect analogy.
Huh.
And the third advantage, psychological dominance. When you move with that kind of speed and decisiveness, you project this image of being unstoppable. You sow doubt and fear in your opponents,
Yeah.
and you haven't even directly engaged them yet.
They're already intimidated before the fight even begins, so we've seen how this plays out on a massive scale, like with the military. But what about our listeners? How can they apply these principles in the business world or even in their own personal lives?
Let's connect this to something more relatable. Think about startups, the ones that launch fast and grab market share before anyone else can react. They often end up dominating. It's about establishing yourself quickly, making it almost impossible for others to catch up.
Like you're staking your claim, putting your flag in the ground, and everyone else is playing catch-up.
Exactly. Speed in business isn't just about being first. It's about creating this perception that you're unstoppable, that you're inevitable. It's like you're occupying the mind of the consumer before anyone else even has a chance.
And in a leadership role, being able to make those bold, quick decisions, that commands respect. People see decisiveness as strength, as competence.
Absolutely. It shows your team you're confident, it inspires action.
Yeah.
And on a personal level, think about those opportunities that pop up. The window to grab them is usually pretty small. Acting fast can be the difference between making it happen and, well, letting it slip away.
Letting it become another regret. Speaking of making things happen, our source material talks about a modern-day example, Elon Musk. Specifically, his work with Tesla and SpaceX.
It's all about the relentless pace with this guy. He sets these crazy, ambitious goals and then pushes his teams to execute them at warp speed. It's mind-blowing. Competitors in both the car industry and the space industry are constantly scrambling to catch up.
Always reacting to whatever he does next. It's like he's always one step ahead.
He's not just participating, he's reshaping these entire industries.
Yeah.
Forcing everyone to adapt to his vision, his speed. Look at the car industry. For years, they dragged their feet on electric vehicles. Then Musk comes along, and suddenly everyone's scrambling to catch up. Same thing with reusable rockets in the space industry.
He sets the agenda, he dictates the rules, and everyone else has to play along.
Exactly. That proactive, rapid action puts him in control. He's the one driving the change. But our source material also warns us about the dangers of not acting quickly. What happens when we hesitate? What are the pitfalls?
Yeah, because it's not always sunshine and roses, right?
Yeah,
There's a flip side to this whole thing.
definitely.
Yeah.
When you wait too long, you give your rivals time to prepare, whether it's competitors, rivals in your field, or even just circumstances changing around you. They can build up their defenses, come up with countermeasures, or the opportunity might just vanish. And surprise, that crucial element, it's gone.
So speed is important, but it's got to be calculated, right? Not just reckless.
Absolutely. To illustrate this, let's look back at another historical figure known for his speed, Julius Caesar. Specifically, his conquest of Gaul.
Oh, yeah, Caesar. He was all about speed. I mean, he was lightning fast.
Caesar was a master of what we call operational tempo. Instead of those long, drawn-out sieges and campaigns, he moved his legions with incredible speed. He'd strike individual Gaelic tribes before they could even unite, before they could build a proper defense.
Like, he'd appear out of nowhere, strike, and then vanish just as quickly. It must have been terrifying to be on the receiving end of that.
Right. And because of that speed and unpredictability, Rome's expansion felt unstoppable. The Gaelic tribes couldn't coordinate. They were constantly off balance. The lesson here, if you move first and you move fast, you set the terms. You control the game.
So it's all about taking the initiative, dictating the pace. But our source material also includes this really important warning. It says that speed without control, without proper planning, can be dangerous.
This is so crucial. It's like, yes, be enthusiastic about acting fast, but ground it in solid strategic thinking. If you move so quickly that you neglect planning, you overextend yourself, you run out of resources, you can end up in a really bad situation.
It's like running a marathon without training. You might start strong, but you'll burn out quickly.
Exactly. You need intelligence. You need a well-defined strategy. That's what fuels the aggression. And there's a cautionary tale that really drives this home. Napoleon's invasion of Russia.
Oh yeah, that didn't end well for Napoleon.
Not at all. Napoleon's Grande Armée, they marched deep into Russia super fast. They thought they'd get a quick win. And the initial advance, yeah, it was fast. Like textbook speed and suddenness.
But they didn't think it through, did they?
Nope. They completely underestimated the logistical challenges. I mean, Russia's huge and unforgiving. And then the Russian winter hit.
Brutal.
It shows how speed without strategy can backfire. That rapid advance turned into a horrific retreat. The lesson: speed needs strategy. Don't rush into a trap blindly.
Okay, so let's bring this back to our listeners. What are some practical ways they can apply this overwhelming with speed and suddenness principle in their own lives, like right now?
Well, the first step is to become a quicker decision maker. It's not about being impulsive. It's about training yourself to analyze situations efficiently and act decisively. Don't get stuck in overthinking.
Yeah, don't let analysis paralysis set in. You'll miss your chance.
Exactly. Second, think about acting before the competition, whether it's a business opportunity, a creative project, or even a personal goal. Spot the opportunity and move quickly.
Don't wait for the perfect moment. It might never come.
Right. Third, think about surprise. You don't need elaborate schemes. Just do something unexpected. Shift your approach. Throw people off guard.
Make them question their assumptions.
Precisely. Fourth, maintain momentum. Once you start, keep pushing. Don't let things stall. Don't give your opponents a chance to regroup.
Keep the pressure on. Don't let up.
And finally, remember that crucial caveat. Plan ahead. Speed is most effective when it's guided by intelligence and strategy. Know your goals. Understand the obstacles. Have a clear picture of the playing field.
And our source material offers another great modern business example: Uber and Airbnb.
These companies launched and scaled so fast. It's incredible. They navigated complex regulations, challenged established businesses. They disrupted taxis and hotels before those industries even knew what hit them.
They were so quick, so aggressive, that they basically became the new standard.
They created these huge barriers to entry for future competitors, and they built these powerful network effects that are almost impossible to beat.
So, to wrap up our deep dive into the Blitzkrieg strategy, this idea of overwhelming resistance with speed and suddenness, it all comes down to this. Speed, when used intelligently, is a weapon.
A powerful one. Hesitation can kill opportunities, but decisive, rapid action, that puts you in control. Learn to strike first, move decisively, maintain momentum. You'll be ahead of the game in all aspects of your life.
So here's a final thought for our listeners. Think about a situation in your life, at work, anywhere, where using this principle could change the dynamic. What would that look like for you? And what's one small, quick action you could take today to get started?
Mastering these kinds of strategic principles is a journey. Keep learning. Keep applying these ideas. Think critically about how they fit into your approach.
Understanding these principles gives you the tools to handle challenges and seize opportunities. So keep exploring. Keep pushing forward. And thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.